Jeremy Renner, Joss Whedon, Tom Hiddleston, and Clark Gregg. We'll take questions right away.
No, wake her up. Sorry, man. Hello. Oh my God, it's a room full of people. Wow. We don't have to pick. Good afternoon.
Okay, so Joss, right over here. What was the biggest challenge for you personally to wrap your head around? You were going to be the guy who finally did the Avengers film, bring all these people from the other films together. What was the most exciting thing to wrap your head around, and what was the most challenging thing to wrap your head around?
I think the exciting thing kind of speaks for itself. That bunch of characters, that bunch of actors playing them, that much money. It's kind of a no-brainer. And the hardest part is and always will be structure. How do you put that together? How do you make everybody shine? How do you let the audience's identification drift from person to person without making them feel like they're not involved? It's a very complex structure. It's not necessarily particularly ornate or original, but it had to be right. It had to be earned from moment to moment, and that's exhausting. That was still going on in the editing room after we'd shot it.
Down here? Hey. What, in your mind, separates a good comic book adaptation film from a bad comic book adaptation film?
Well, there's all sorts. But for me, it's capturing the essence of the comic and being true to what's wonderful about it while remembering that it's a movie and not a comic. I think Spider-Man, the first one particularly, really captured, they figured out the formula of, tell the story that they told in the comic. It was compelling, that's why it's iconic. But at the same time, they did certain things that only a movie can do, and that were in the vein of the comic. I think you see things like The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where they just throw out the comic, or Watchmen, where they do it frame for frame, and neither of them work. You have to give the spirit of the thing and then step away from that and create something cinematic and new.
Hi, Jill here. I'm with a site called Hollywood Hot Moms today, and this question is for Kobe. This is for her.
Probably for me, guys. That's probably for me.
That's right. All right, here goes.
Hi.
As a parent, what does being a part of a superhero movie like this mean to you? And when you make these movies, do you think about watching them with your kid?
What does it have to do with being a hot mom?
Everything. Everything. It means a lot more action figures in our house. I think we have all of them, and she knows all of the names. But it's very cool to be a woman in a man's world in this film and have my daughters see that. That's probably the coolest thing.
Where can I find this site?
Hotmom.com.
I went on Hollywood. I went on Hot Moms of Hollywood. I feel like it's not the one you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get a lot of spam in my junk mail because of that.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to ask you, in the last press conference, so what was your most memorable moment making Marvel's The Avengers?
Let me start over here.
Oh, okay. Okay, not just because Joss is here, and not just because I want to be impressive for the purveyor of Hollywood Hot Moms website over there. I'm going to say it was the day I got the script, just because I felt like this was not an achievable task. As someone who writes sometimes and loves movies and watches a lot of them, I just didn't think it was really feasible to have this many characters and have them all get to kind of move forward and to have the story of them kind of coming together really work. And if it did work with that many amazing superheroes and movie stars, I felt it unlikely that Agent Coulson would do anything but bring some super coffee to somebody. So when I read it and kind of saw that it was my fanboy, a wet dream of an Avengers script, and that Coulson was a big part of it, that was the great day for me. I just kind of drove around the streets with the script in the other seat, just kind of giggling.
For me, there are so many things that are memorable about it because it's such a long shoot. It was the whole summer for all of us, and we had so many different experiences together, and it was an amazing time for me to work with all of these, some of the greatest actors in the world. sitting at this table, and Clark. But I think probably the thing, if you said, how was the Avengers shoot? There's an image in my mind, which was the first day on set that everybody was there together. And it was insane. The picture of everybody in costume, of all of these actors and all of these characters in their chainmail and their capes and their armor, and except for Mark Ruffalo in his grey and white pajamas at the back. But to see everybody finally assembled, it was an extraordinary moment. Just a picture of the Avengers. It was amazing.